Hey everyone, welcome! I am literally so thrilled to be your guide today on this immersive documentary tour. If you're a focused learner looking to master the geography of the Bay of Bengal, you are in the perfect place. Today, we're embarking on a breathtaking journey along the coastline of Cox's Bazar and beyond. We're going to explore the hidden gems, the volatile histories, and the geographical marvels of these coastal islands. And don't worry, my fellow students, I know exactly why many of you are here. By the end of our voyage, we're going to wrap up with a high-yield exam study guide to make absolutely sure you ace those upcoming geography tests.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our travel itinerary. First, the Cinnamon Island. Second, the hilly terrain of Maheshkhali. Third, islands of the coast. Fourth, lost islands and historical tides. And finally, our geography study guide. Section 1. The Cinnamon Island. Exploring the coral haven of St. Martin.
Imagine jumping off a boat right onto these brilliant white sands surrounded by the absolutely crystal-clear blue waters of the Bay of Bengal. Welcome to St. Martin, the southernmost jewel of the country. If you were walking these shores with me right now, you'd instantly understand why this remote spot in the Cox's Bazar district just completely steals the heart of everyone who visits. Now, what's really wild about St. Martin is its size. It's incredibly compact. We're talking just 8 square kilometers. But inside that tiny footprint, it holds a monumental geographical title. It is the country's one and only coral island, or Prabal Dweep. It really just goes to show you Mother Nature doesn't need a massive canvas to paint an absolute masterpiece, right?
Because it's absolutely packed with coconut trees, locals often call the island Narakel Jinjara, which means coconut island. But it has an even more poetic name, Daruchini Dweep, or the Cinnamon Island. And this name is just steeped in literary wonder. The legendary poet Jibanananda Das actually referenced the enchanting Cinnamon Island in his works. And get this, the celebrated novelist Humayun Ahmed loved it here so much that he literally bought a cottage right on the island and wrote his famous novel, Daruchini Dweep. He even wrote a beautiful dedication to his daughter, promising to bring her to this magical place the second she turned 18. So it's a landscape built just as much on poetry as it is on coral.
Now, you might be wondering, what else is packed into those 8 square kilometers? Well, the ecological wealth here is off the charts. The island is rich in valuable silica sand and limestone, which locals sometimes call black gold. But honestly, the true treasures here are alive. The beaches of St. Martin are actually vital nesting grounds for 3 distinct, magnificent species of sea turtles. We're talking the olive turtle, the green turtle, and the hawksbill turtle. It's an absolutely crucial sanctuary for these incredible creatures.
Section 2. The hilly terrain of Maheshkhali, rising from the sea.
All right, let's pull up the anchor and sail just a bit further up the coast to our next destination in Cox's Bazar. We're leaving those flat coral shores behind us because the geography is about to shift dramatically as we roll up to Maheshkhali. And this brilliantly illustrates the striking geographical contrast of this region. Where St. Martin is totally flat and made of coral, Maheshkhali literally rises from the sea as a mountainous landscape. Actually, it's the country's only hilly island, known as Pahari Dweep. But wait, it's not just ancient hills, it's also famous as a modern digital island. Culturally, it's a massive hub too. It's home to the iconic Adinath Temple, which draws Hindu pilgrims from all over to its rugged, beautiful shores. To really wrap our heads around Maheshkhali, we have to look at how it's put together. It's actually a composite made up of 3 distinct sub-islands. You've got Sanudia, which is known as a major hub for catching sea fish. Then you have Madarbari. And finally, Dalagat. Together, these 3 pieces fit perfectly together like a giant puzzle to form the greater Maheshkhali island structure.
So the crucial point we need to talk about is right here on the Madarbari sub-island. This spot is the site of a monumental local development milestone. Madarbari is currently transforming into the country's first ever deep seaport. Now, while it marks the 4th seaport overall for the nation, the fact that it's the deepest gives it just immense economic and geographic significance. It's a textbook example of how geography dictates trade and progress, a real game changer.
Section 3. Islands of the coast. Lighthouses, fish, and ships. Leaving Maheshkhali behind, let's journey further up the coast. If you look through the eyes of a local mariner, every single island on this stretch of the Bay of Bengal serves a highly specialized function. Let's look at what makes these neighboring shores so vital. If you were navigating these waters at night, as a local resident, you'd guide your boat by the glowing beam of the famous lighthouse on Qutb Dia. Oh, and Qutb also sits on the country's second marine gas field. Just nearby is Sanadia, which, like we mentioned, is the bustling heart of the sea fishing industry. And then, further up the coast in Chattagram, lies Sandweep. Historically, Sandweep was an absolute powerhouse. It functioned as a massive ancient shipbuilding center. Each of these islands literally has its own unique coastal heartbeat.
Moving right along, we absolutely have to talk about the sheer scale of Bhola. Locals affectionately call it the Queen of Islands. Bhola is entirely unique because it's the country's only standalone island district. That means the entire district is totally surrounded by water. A true one island, one district marvel. And hey, for the history buffs out there, you might actually recognize it by its former name, Shahbazpur.
Section 4. Lost Islands and Historical Tides, Cyclones and Submerged Lands.
Now, as breathtaking as this coastline is, the Bay of Bengal can be deeply volatile. We kind of have to adopt a slightly more serious tone here as we look at how uncompromising tides and devastating weather have shaped and sometimes totally erased the geography of this region. Take Manpura Island in the Bhola district, for example. It's got a really rich history. It was actually once an ancient Portuguese settlement, but it's also the site of immense tragedy. In 1970, a devastating cyclone ripped through Manpura. The sheer destructive power and sorrow of that event were later immortalized in 1974 by the legendary artist Zainal Abidin in his famous painting, literally titled Manpura 70. It's a stark, powerful reminder of the ocean's power.
But perhaps even more dramatic is the story of an island that doesn't even exist anymore, South Talpatti. Also known as New Moor or Purbasha, this border island had a really brief, highly contested lifespan. It emerged and was discovered in 1970. Fast forward to 1981, it became a massive point of dispute and was occupied by India. But nature had the final say. By March 2010, rising sea levels and shifting tides caused South Talpatti to become completely submerged beneath the Bay of Bengal. It just vanished. Gone.
Section 5, the Geography Study Guide, your exam cheat sheet. Okay, we've explored the poetry, the history, and the beauty of these islands. Now, let's move to and see how this builds our knowledge base. I want to inject some high energy here because we're shifting gears straight into your focused exam preparation. Consider these the local secrets to passing your test. Grab your notes because this is your ultimate geography cheat sheet. To master those upcoming admission tests, memorizing these comparative data points is absolutely crucial. First up, Nijim Dweep. Where is it? Noakhali, right at the Meghna estuary. Key feature, its alternative name is Baular Char. Next, Qutb. Location, Cox's Bazar. Key feature, the famous lighthouse and the marine gas field. Finally, Cheradweep. Location, also Cox's Bazar. Key feature, at just 3 square kilometers, it marks the absolute southernmost point of the country. Lock this info into your memory for sure. And I'm going to drop one more critical exam fact for you before we finish up today, specifically regarding river geography. The number 54. So out of the 57 total cross-border or transboundary rivers in the country, exactly 54 of them are shared with India. The remaining 3, Nuf, Matamuhuri, and Sangu, are shared with Myanmar. But 54? That is the magic number you need to remember for the Indian border rivers.
Wow, we've covered some incredible ground today, haven't we? From the turtle sanctuaries of the Cinnamon Island all the way to the submerged ghosts of South Talpatti. It really leaves us with a profound realization. Geography is not static. As tides rise, as islands vanish into the sea, and as new shoals constantly emerge from the rivers, how will future generations map the ever-shifting coastal borders of this deeply dynamic land? Keep that curiosity alive, keep studying, and until next time, keep exploring the world around you.